that if you took everybody's money away right now, like we all started from zero and just had to like start tomorrow, that within 10 years, 90% of the people at the top would be back at the top.
Let's fight failure together. We can defeat 90.
Yeah, I had a finance professor who said, I don't know if this is necessarily completely true. I think it's mostly true, but that if you took everybody's money away right now, like we all started from zero and just had to like start tomorrow, that within 10 years, 90% of the people at the top would be back at the top.
Yeah. Because it's not, guys, this is not, it's a heart thing. It's a mind thing. It's a critical thinking thing. There's a part of, it's hard for me to say this because I'm gonna get myself in trouble, and I'm gonna talk about this later on more. But I think entrepreneurship is something that you're born. It's a skill set you're born with. I feel like just like LeBron James, like I can play basketball, but I can't play like him. And there's natural things about him that made him so good at what he was doing. And it wasn't just like it was his situational stuff, but it's also his like natural talent. And I think that's the same way with entrepreneurs. There's some things that I think to be successful entrepreneurs and business owners, we are predisposed to that make us good at it. And I don't think everybody should start a business. I think that's one of the biggest fallacies that's happened right now, why there's so much failure and the 90% failure is because there's people that should never start a company. They're like, I can make a kick better than everybody and I'll charge less. Well, yeah. Like you don't know how to manage people. You don't know how to market your big company. I mean, there's so much stuff that goes.
That's our earliest ideas is can I do it cheaper, which obviously is a dangerous starting point. I don't think everybody should be a business owner by any means. I think like definitely kids, like raising young people, we should have them do the lemonade stand.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, we should have them do the garage sale and stuff. Like they need to understand business and like be behind the curtain so that even just being a general consumer and like a human out in the world, they understand the basic business structures and you know who the people they're interacting with and stuff. But yeah, not doing it for your life. It's a hard road.
Well, and again, I can explain this more, and I'm going to be talking about this more. But the thing is that I think we put too much glory on being an entrepreneur and small business owner. We see them, trotting around, dude. This is tough. Mm-hmm. It's not easy. The stress, I've had this. This is my 17th company, and you know my story of what I went through when I was a kid too, of everything that happened with my dad. And it's like, this is not a life for everyone, and it's not this picturesque. But what I guess want to say is, to be a number two, or to be like a really strong manager in a company, or to be an incredibly valued employee, there's amazing things about that.
Oh yeah,
I think the thing is like you need to find your thing, right? Yeah. You need to find your thing that you love, that you're passionate about, that you're good, the value creates, and own it. And if that's being an entrepreneur, great. And starting a business, that's great. If it's not, cool. And find ways to live the life you want to live, instead of just being like, well, I have to have like most of the time when people bring you like, I'm thinking about starting this, I'm like, don't.
Yeah. Well, and there are like, for some of those people, there are hybrid models. Like if they work a 9 to 5 that they're happy with, and they teach music lessons on the weekends and that's their thing, and they put that money in a vacation fund and that scratches the itch of having their own thing, they could absolutely do that too. It doesn't have to be like a binary choice.
Yeah. And I know that I'm being a little exaggerated on this thing, but I do think there's some things to look through and think through before you do things. And my heart behind it is not saying, oh, it's an exclusive club. Is this the life you want?
Oh, yeah.
And I think there's a distinct decision you need to make before you move into that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody posts a video of them staring at the fan at 3 a.m. on Instagram.
No. And I think the fake it till you make it thing, I think is really we've glorified this business thing, and we see all the amazing moments, not all the stuff it's like, if we laid out all the terrible things that we've had to face, which I mean, that's part of what I want to eventually get into. Some of this, we're going to talk about more of the high level stuff here and get into some micro learning in this. But I think the everyday person would be like, no, I'm going to pass. No, that's not. So moving in. Okay.
Get off at the first exit ramp.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a controversial figure, but his example was basically being on the highway of business, and like every 5 miles, there's the exit ramp giving you the opportunity to quit. And like everybody that, you know, has a lifelong business had to just like white knuckle on the wheel on a lot of those because, you know, it felt enticing.
Let's fight failure together. We can defeat 90.